Now, over here we have a bunch of talented people, right, from all over the world. And so, on my left, first and foremost, we have a really an exceptional artist, I would say, like meteoric rise over the last couple of years as well, building his craft over a very long time. Matt Gonda.
Hi, what's up?
Right? And come on, guys, just a bit of raw applause, man.
Yeah. No.
All right, thank
I was
you.
testing the microphone. Sasa. Oh.
And next to him is my man crush. And
Vice versa. I know I have couple of loves in Singapore.
yes, but I'm first.
Yeah, okay,
Darren is first. I think.
Oh, you are the youngest of, of my friends.
Of course, the man behind Toki Doki, Simone Lenore.
Hello. Thank you. Very happy to be back here, and I feel this is going to be my best panel because I'm in the middle of people that I really esteem, from a legend in the Philippines like Big Boy, from a very upcoming, fantastic young entrepreneur, and another great artist that living in Los Angeles for 18 years. I've seen the upcoming career of Matt, so I feel very happy and honored to be on this panel in a city that I love.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right.
I'm kawaii, it's all this shit, yeah.
And of course, lastly, not the least, we have the myth, the legend, Big Boy. Hey.
Thank you for having me here, guys.
You're gonna give away shoes, right? Later, you're gonna give away shoes, no?
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you to my Culture Cartel family, Boss Pandip. Thank you.
All right. So I think I'm personally really interested. Like I know you guys are too. You could probably Google this, but what better way to hear it from the guys themselves? I want to know, like, what is the origin story? You know, like Marvel, Disney, superhero type of story before you were who you are right now, right? Where did that come from? And we don't have 3 hours, so we touch and go a little bit on that. So perhaps let's start a little bit from Matt yourself. Like you just recently have a exhibition in
Tokyo. Yeah, it's
isn't
going
it?
on right now. Yeah.
So how did someone, a creative like you, go from Pittsburgh to Tokyo? Like, what does it mean, like going global like that?
So I've been doing art my entire life, like most artists. I got started because in my 20s I was in a lot of punk rock bands, and I was designing my band's merch, and I was designing my friends' band's merch, and that kind of grew to where I started doing merchandise for like bands on record labels. And then the t-shirts I was doing for the bands was in the mall and everything. So that's how I kind of got started. And I kind of grew out of working in the music industry because I didn't like to work for other people. So I started painting on a whim, and I was just kind of trying to figure out what to paint. And I always would draw pop culture stuff, right? So I started painting just pop culture, deconstructing, and how everything got started was I started selling all my paintings on Instagram, like most artists do. And I attracted the attention of a gallery in Hong Kong, and I flew over to Hong Kong, had a show there. This was maybe like 8 years ago. And that was kind of the beginning of doing all these art exhibitions, and now it's grown into what it is now.
And that was how many years ago when that opportunity came by?
So my first show in Hong Kong was kind of my first big art show. That was about 8 years ago.
How critical was art shows to an artist, like especially at that stage?
Well, I mean, I was selling my work myself through my Instagram account, but I think that whenever you start working with a gallery or a reputable gallery or someone who has a name, like for example Big Boy, it kind of legitimizes what you're doing, and it's not. I mean, it's like the saying is it's who you know. And if your work is being shown by a gallery other people like, it kind of raises your level as an artist, and it helped beneficially.
That's really going to take some time though, right? To really develop that kind of relationship that's sort of needed to go into that space. Well, was that a particularly long time for you to break through into more of the mainstream partnerships that you have now?
Totally, yeah. I've been doing art full time for about 17 years, and I mean, it's just a lot of like just work and showing people that you're like you're doing it right. Like a gallery doesn't want to take a risk on an artist that's not constantly producing work and constantly trying to make their own thing happen, because they're a business and they want to make money too. So they want to kind of find a little bit of a sure bet and kind of nurture and grow them.
So now that we're talking about galleries, well, of course, we have Big Boy over here. I started with Secret Fresh. I probably bought a lot of stuff over there in the very beginning. And then later on, Ronak Art Center as well, which serves as, in my opinion, a beacon in Manila for the arts, especially the emerging artists. And when I was there in Art Center, thank you for your hospitality as well. I appreciate it, boss. Now, Big Boy, from your perspective, right, the origin story of why did you want to start something like this? Was it passion? Was it something else?
Oh, it's purely passion. Started out collecting shoes, toys. And then from toys, I started collecting from G.I. Joe to He-Man art toys, Michael Lau. And then from Michael Lau, Kid Robot. And then after Kid Robot, I met Simone, I collected Tokidoki, I learned about everything, and then I built a shop just for the art toys because I really love them and would love to introduce them to Manila. And then after that, we became an accidental gallery because the artists buy the art toys, they bring their paintings and then let me sell them. And and now we're a gallery. So that's how we started. That's how I started collecting from toys to paintings.
So it's pure passion.
Pure passion.
Absolutely. And what is your hopes, I guess, in providing such a space for the artists that you work with as well? Mainly, I would think that there's going to be a spotlight and highlight on the artists that you want to work with. How has it been working with emerging artists?
Yeah, right now we're doing 4 shows every 2 weeks. So just to cater all the local artists, of course, with an influx of international artists like Sir Matt and Sir Simone. Sir, what's up? And then to help because in the Philippines art is really good already. So our target is to be like worldwide. So that's what I want to do with my gallery now and with our local artists. I believe that we have some artists that has now doing good worldwide like Quicks, etc.
Yes, I think quite a few renowned artists have came out from the gallery as well. So that's a fantastic job done over there. It's incredibly difficult to get from that stage to a world stage, I imagine. Now, of course, Simone, the hardest questions for you, right?
So how I started. So Tokidoki started around 2003, 2002 as a website, and it was the explosion of the Flash animation technology, and that's where I could find my space to introduce into a global world. And actually, first time I stepped from Italy to the US was because I became a sort of one of the top Flash designers. And through that, I started to get recognition in the design community. Because before, web design and graphic design and art, street art and toy art was all part of the same circle of websites underground talking about what was going in the world. So after that, it was easy. Once you get like a very strong web following, somehow it came naturally to convert my artwork, my characters into products. I moved to LA. I met a fantastic business partner. I established my company in Los Angeles, which is a great place for street art, for innovative ideas, and to grow a business. And then just continued, and a key thing was doing collaborations. I was lucky enough to use bigger companies that they have a great marketing teams. I could learn a lot. I could learn a lot about products, and through these collaborations, I could grow up my business.
So, over here in Singapore, you have quite a big footprint as well. I've seen you in a zoo. I've seen you on EasyLink cuts. I've seen you everywhere. As I use the washroom, as I close the door, I still see your artwork, right? But I'm just kidding. But Simone, like, what to reach this level of presence, especially in a country that you're not residing in as well? What was that critical moment that happened, that defining moment that changed you as an artist into the company or the brand that you are? Like, what was that singular?
I don't know. It's for me. It's extremely hard to define like a life turning moment. I mean, there was 3, 4, 5 turning projects, and as I said before, the collaborations could be, you know, Karl Lagerfeld, Les Sportsac, Onitsuka Tiger, some major Sephora cosmetics. So they spreaded my artwork. That it's very friendly. It's very positive, it's very inclusive, and it's very human. And people started to click in, and Singapore was a community that really reacted to my work, and I was lucky enough to be present, even physically sometimes, even in a world where social media is so huge, but at the end, like to be, let's say, for 13 consecutive Comic-Cons, and you have seen me working hard, signing for friends, for fans and friends, and just having my physical presence here was a great way to show my love. And you have, I think I created so many ambassadors like that really love my brand, and actually now I really feel it's the beginning in Singapore, because I will fly back in a week, I will fly back in January, I will fly back in February. And already before here, I was in meetings. Tomorrow, I have meetings on Sunday, and you know, and then so Singapore is really so reactive, and I love Singapore so much.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. A round of applause for that, I think, right? All right. Well, you guys have traveled all around the world.
I love the Philippines so much as well. Yeah,
Philippines as well.
Manila.
So all of you guys have traveled extensively around the rest of the region in the world. You know, whether is it working with artists that from big boy side of things, or working with the galleries and the partners that you have in a different world. Now, what makes Asia unique? What makes the environment of Asia, the cultural part of Asia, unique in terms of the art perspective? Perhaps from big boys side of things.
I think all of galleries or in all places are unique. But in Asia, you know, much. I think Simone will know because Simone moved from the US into Asia, and maybe Matt too next time. Just kidding, Matt. Probably warm people, right? And then hardworking people in the gallery, friendly. You know, Asia is just fun to have a show for artists. They can have a show, no pressure, and also time to unwind, vacation. So, yeah, that's what I think. That's why artists like Asia, or Philippines, Singapore, or any Asian countries.
You met with your show in Tokyo, having been there, talking to the collectors, the gallery. What is your stance on that?
My stance?
On the Asia influence.
Got it, yeah. So I've noticed, I mean, whether we're talking about an artist that produces work and is trying to push themselves, or a gallery that shows artists, I feel like on the side of the world of Asia, there's, and this is going to sound so rude to Americans, but I feel like Asians, like the Asian culture, there's more of attention to detail, and everything's done very high quality, very high standards. But they lack this bravado that I think Americans have, that we kind of all think we're the best. On the flip side, Americans, and I did this myself, we all kind of think that we're this individual great thing even before we're good. I did this myself. Even before I was a good artist, I was pushing myself like crazy. So I've always tried to take, from the Asian culture of trying to just produce very high quality work, but then from the Western culture of just push yourself, get yourself everywhere.
Right. Probably from the get-go is a different perspective.
Totally, absolutely
that.
different perspective.
Interesting. Well, Simone, have you been working in this part of the world? For a very long
Yeah,
time?
so I think between those guys, I have the most international type of. I mean, there's like super, like two celebrities. I'm sandwiched between two fantastic guys, very experienced. But my life was very, I'm Italian. My company, and it was 18 years and will be probably forever in Los Angeles, and my my home and my everything. So I experienced the U.S. I'm European. And then now I live in Tokyo. I've been 62 times to Tokyo, 30 times to Singapore, 25 maybe to Bangkok, 20 times to Manila. You know me, I'm always around Asia, and one of the reasons made sense for me to move to Japan was like actually to be close to China. Of course, China, let's not even count about how many times I've been to China. So for me, I experienced so much like the changing over almost 20 years about this market. I really think the big difference between the let's say the Eastern Asian countries and the Western bloc, it's about like how here first of all there was a bigger character culture. Like you loved characters many years ago. You recognize the artistic profile that characters have. So you could see even like artists that were like not major in the US, like Cause, like for example, like they started to have like their experiences here in Hong Kong, and Hong Kong started to make these big statues. I had like installations with this like financed like probably like tens of thousands of dollars, if hundreds of thousands of dollars, like gigantic statues in like Shanghai, Tianjin, Beijing, Manila, Bangkok, Singapore, that type of thing. So first of all is the character culture. Second, I think that here like there is a strong local art and local feeling for art, but at the same time was very hungry to learn more from the Western. So I really feel that this centuries type of iconography and type of under personal, like historic hundreds of years of look and traditions was mixed up with this interest for the let's say the Western big trends that mostly come from the States as a big always innovators in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and then I think that even like in the last decade. This is the third and last thing. I mean, I could speak forever about it. I think that especially as for like the technological response, even like if in the States, like I mean, everything comes from the Silicon Valley, but in the sense of everyday life, I really feel that Asia and major Asian cities are very technological, are very fast, and that's why you could see already when I was doing my websites, like my first clients were from Singapore 20 years ago. Like I'm talking about MTV or like Central Narcotic Bureau or whatever it was. And then so like through this fast technology, like they could really like develop a very quick response toward the new things. And the Western world, especially Europeans, even more than Americans, are kind of stuck to a sort of tradition. So sorry, it's a long answer, but I really feel like I have to put all these points together, and I really hope the acoustics and my, not perfect accent in English, it's a little bit of not Singlish, but it's English is clear to people.
Well, so from that, part of it is that the progression over the years that you have seen in Asia has also developed pretty quickly in the appreciation of art, or contemporary art in general. I think many of you have seen that change as well. Now, why do you think the progression in Asia, the appreciation for that has evolved so quickly? Well, maybe Big Boy, from a gallery perspective.
it's hard to answer. But
Sorry.
but I've seen it grow so fast from sneakers or from toys to art. Like all my collectors who collects toys now collects paintings. So probably probably more on knowledge from the internet. Artists, many great artists now like Matt. I've seen Matt grow as an artist from the start. Oh, his paintings are so amazing. So, people can access, talk to Matt or just information. So people learn fast, evolve fast from toys, art toys, paintings, sculptures. So that's how I see it. Like
You want to use mine? Oh, I think none of them
Sasa.
are working.
Mine. Oh, it's back.
There
Okay.
you go.
So, from Matt and Simone perspective, right? A lot of the work that you have been creating also touch on popular culture because it's what we grew up with, right? So naturally, it's influenced a little bit from there. Now, my question to the two artists is that how do you think art on this global level can break down certain barriers in the world? How can art as a medium deliver that? And how do you feel about it in general?
Yeah, I mean, like, I had the fortune to spend even in Tokyo a few days ago because I lived there, and then we had the dinner together, and today behind the scenes. So we speak a lot. We have a little bit of very similar punk rock, inclusive background, and I really think that generally, like the most brutal type of not inclusive type of mentality is people that doesn't have that openness to actually become a good artist. I think good artists are like free people, and freedom means like to do everything you can do. Anybody can do whatever they want. The important you don't touch in any way like the life of everybody else. And then the visual impact now it's through all the social media, talking of course from the classics, IG, Instagram, like Facebook, whatever it is, and then Discords and all the new one coming, Telegram coming out. I really think there's so much opportunity for us that I think we are more open-minded people and people that travel. We are lucky enough to travel all over the world and interact via social media with people from all over the world, like to really feel part of a global little planet in a galaxy. So I really think that we are very lucky. We can always spread like good messages, and it's our responsibility. And sometimes you really have to be careful because like the fact that we are big speakers. We really have to always to find the right key to speak to people and don't make any communicative errors. I don't know if I make sense.
So the messaging that you put out is gonna be quite important. The messaging that you put out through the art.
I mean, like my personal art, like Toki Toki, is a sort of mix of dualism. It's like I don't. For whoever knows my artwork, is this very complex artwork, and it's a mix-up of dualism. So there is the good, the bad, the Eastern, the Western, the sexy, the pure, the childish, the adult, the fashion forward, let's say they try to be design forward, chic with something a little bit kitsch at the same time. And so I realized actually in an interview in the Philippines, somebody told me this mix-up of dualism is expression, or maybe like an unconscious expression of just living in harmony. It's a dualistic world or chaotic world that can coexist together. I really hope I can make sense. But
Thank you, Simone.
read over.
Matt, would you like to chip in on that?
Yeah. I think art is the great communicator. I've realized this traveling around just in my travels with all my exhibitions. I just had one in Japan. I had one in Mexico City. I don't speak any Japanese. But when I'm at my exhibition or I'm at an exhibition of an artist I admire, even if we can't speak the same language, we can both appreciate the same thing, and that connects us, right? Uh, you don't have to be a world class artist to make art. There's wherever, however you create, wherever you create, there's a opportunity there for you, and there's ways to connect. Like, for example, Big Boy, he invited me to go to the Philippines 5 years ago to paint a mural. Like, there's opportunities for artists all over the earth, Now that finally digital artwork is now being respected on the same level as actual physical fine art with NFTs, it's giving a voice to all these people to just not only create but be taken seriously. And there's all these now conventions for NFTs that are opening up, and it just art just brings the whole world together. I mean, why am I here? Like, I'm here because of art. Everyone here is because of a shoe that somebody designed, or they're getting a tattoo. It's art. Art brought us all here right now. It's the great communicator.
Yes, it's the language without words in that way, right? And knowing what you guys know now, right? What is that? What is that one thing you wish that someone has told you before you started? Is there that one particular thing you wish?
I got one. I have a podcast where I interview artists. I've been doing it for years, and I've interviewed a lot of really big artists. And the one thing they always say is they wish they would have started promoting themselves sooner. I talk to so many artists, like younger artists, that say, "Oh man, I wish, I had a show here. I wish I had this." And I'm like, "Well, are you making art?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you showing it to people?" "No, it's not really that good yet." And the thing is, it's never going to be as good as you think it needs to be, right? Like, you just need to start pushing yourself. And to answer your question, I wish I would have known to start promoting myself sooner.
So every little bit goes a long way. It's not about that single
It
step.
all adds up. It's just pages of a book, 1 page a day.
I see the pain look on your face.
Huh?
I see the pain on your face. So
Really, like, no, actually, exactly. I don't know. I was just sending a kiss to one of the Manila crew that we have here. But, actually, like, I have a more, like, bitter type of thing. Like, when I was 26 and I moved to LA, but even before, actually, what I wish I knew is like I wish I was less naive and I knew people better. It's full like of sharks and monsters out there that really want to take advantage of artists. You have no cash and no knowledge like to know about trademarks and copyrights and all the things that you have to do to protect yourself. So I really wish I had that sort of business knowledge and legal knowledge that really takes advantage of artists. But I feel like nowadays, like because of social media, once you put it out on an Instagram and it could be even 10,000, it's a sort of a copyright proof that you were first to put that sort of concept. And I think you, Jackson, you know very well my artwork. It's made of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ideas that I just keep on putting out over the years. And so what I wish I had more, I knew like that out there the world is not that easy and wonderful as I thought.
absolutely, I think these are similar things that we all learn along the way. The legal part of it, the people that you should trust, right? That's why this circle is extremely important. I think the people we have known at this point of time. Now, Big Boy, for you, perhaps a different perspective on things. Would you have done anything different? Would you have changed the way you did something?
Oh no, I wouldn't done anything different. I believe what my people, our family, my Secret Fresh family gallery done is we're on the right track. So no regrets or anything.
No regrets.
We're still moving forward.
That's great. Now, for the final question, really for everyone over here, when we look at the world that we're in right now, everything is moving really quickly. Access to digital platforms all over the place, very fast. Things, words get out quicker. Opportunities are plenty. Of course, we don't know some of them are good or bad. But what is that advice you would give a creator, someone who wants to create something, whether it's a gallery, or artwork, or anything like that? What would be that advice? And how do you think that they could create the future of tomorrow in art? 5 minutes. Sorry, guys.
Same answer I gave before, but I can say it in a different way. Maybe is okay. There's probably a young artist in this crowd right now that may look at Simone and go, "This guy has had Tokidoki for 70 years. He's 80 years old. He's a very famous artist. I will never be Simone." But the thing is, like, this dude started in 1940, and he started, he did something, and he did something, and he did something, and
Survived.
it builds. Like I said earlier, it builds up every day, and now if you just look at Simone today, it's like, oh my God, I will never get to that level, but he climbed a stair every day for the last 300 years. It takes a while. You just need to get started climbing the stairs now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
By the way, thank you for dressing like me today.
We are street guys.
Big boy, perhaps?
Yeah, right. You told me that so fast, like everything so fast, digital world. Just for an artist or a person, just enjoy what you're doing, relax, don't chase it. Like you know your limits. So if you go so fast,
The
it might,
Filipino mentality.
yeah, it might be too pressured. It might be too pressuring for you. So just relax, enjoy the art, enjoy being an artist, enjoy being a gallery curator. So that's my advice.
Let it be natural. And because you're 1,000 years old, Simone, you can have the last word.
Okay. Sorry. I need like my stick like to walk back from here. But first of all, I really think that lots of young artists on one side are very lucky to have the opportunity to experience so much art using the social media. Like actually it's too much. And so like, but I think what the artists, I'm afraid that the young artists would like face now is that they cannot be original because just the fact that there is so many trends and they try to look similar to somebody or they're too influenced by somebody. And I had the opportunity to be not so bombed by just refreshing my Instagram at my time. It was more about being on a train, being walking like fantastic cities that I experienced all over the world with my sketchbook, paper sketchbook, in the back of my pocket, and so I could really like dig into myself for something original and something unique. So this is the first advice: is like don't look for inspiration too much. I mean, to add into other artists, just look it into yourself. Second thing, it's about don't copy other people like bluntly because it's similar suggestion because now everybody even if you have 1,000 followers within a day everybody will know that you copied somebody and now you get caught and I faced lots of people that try to do what I want to do. I'm talking about major companies and at the end now it's going to become a backlash. So always be clean and be a nice person. I really think is the most important thing in business is to be a nice person. Sometimes you get fucked, so it's first word in a speech, and then sometimes you get fucked, but in general, like always, like being a good person, somebody will always remember about you, and just want to do the business, not just because you are a great artist, but because you're a very reliable and work ethics and human ethics person.
Absolutely. Kindness go a long way. Kindness go a long way on that. and you hear first at Cartel. Now, thank you, this gentlemen, for spending their time today with us to run through all this discussion we have. Can we have the loudest applause over here and shake the house down, please? Thanks.